If you look close enough, the bounty hunter Bossk is seen at numerous points in Return of the Jedi, appearing both in Jabba's palace and upon Jabba's sail barge, just prior to the battle that erupted over the Sarlacc pit. Although it seemed like Bossk was just one of many bounty hunters in these scenes, thanks to the recent Leia Age of Rebellion comic issue, we know that the Trandoshan bounty hunter almost returned to Jabba's palace just prior to episode 6 as an even greater legend than he already was, having come extremely close to capturing Leia, Lando, and Chewbacca. Not long before the events of Return of the Jedi, we see Leia and Chewbacca on board the Millennium Falcon, traveling through hyperspace to Tatooine to rescue Han from Jabba's palace, ensuring they had the weapons they needed to carry out their plan. Having made their final preparations, Leia assured Chewbacca they were going to save Han, succeeding no matter what. However, as they were still on their approach to Jabba's palace, they were contacted by Rebel Lieutenant Evan Verlaine, who informed them they had to put their rescue mission on hold. Although Leia was adamant they were going to Tatooine and weren't about to be stopped, the lieutenant gave Leia the bad news. Bounty hunters had shot down a rebel ship on the planet of Arkanis. Worse, they were about to capture Lando Calrissian. And perhaps worse yet, the bounty hunter after Lando was none other than Bossk. Eventually, Leia would disembark from her journey to Tatooine to rescue Lando, fortunately finding him before Bossk did. Only when Leia first found him, she was in her Boushh disguise, causing Lando to believe he'd only been captured by another bounty hunter. Leia would disarm Lando as he attempted to escape, and after somewhat surrendering to Boushh, he was shocked to find that it was Leia in the armor, confident that she had perfectly pulled off the disguise. As Leia would explain, the real Boushh attacked her and Chewie on Ord Mantell, and when he was defeated, she stole his armor to use it to gain entry into Jabba's palace. As Leia and Lando began arguing about who was at fault for Han's capture in the first place, they realized they had bigger problems. Chewbacca was located and captured by the bounty hunters originally after Lando. Leia and Lando watched as Chewbacca was taken directly to Bossk, with the bounty hunter realizing the Wookiee would be well worth the effort, suggesting he and his team go to the local cantina before delivering Chewbacca to Jabba. Recognizing Bossk was one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy and that there were too many Imperial patrols to call for rebel reinforcements, Leia decided she was going to rescue Chewbacca herself, again practicing her disguise for her eventual trip to Jabba's palace. Appearing in the cantina as Boushh, Leia was immediately confronted by another bounty hunter, but when she refused to flinch, Leia was able to convince the other hunters she was none other than Boushh himself. With her identity concealed and finding Chewbacca incapacitated, Leia went directly over to Bossk, asking him why he had the Wookiee when he was originally hunting Lando. Bossk was more than confident Lando would eventually be his, and explained that Chewbacca was worth more than enough credits for now. With that, Leia, as Boushh, simply told Bossk she would see him on Tatooine. Although it was brief, Leia did her job, and Bossk was now curious why Boushh also seemed to be hunting bounties on Arkanis, telling his team to find out why the other bounty hunter was there. With Leia and Lando continuing their plan out in the open, trying to draw Bossk in under the guise that Boushh had captured Lando, the plan worked perfectly. Soon Bossk and his team attacked the two rebels. But with Leia ready for them, she turned to stun two of the bounty hunters, only to find that Bossk himself was now joining the fight to prevent Boushh from stealing his bounty on Lando. As a firefight ensued, Leia was able to cause a number of rocks to rain down upon the bounty hunter, allowing her to gain the advantage over Bossk. With her blaster pointed directly at him, Leia made an offer to Bossk under the guise of Boushh. She would exchange the lives of the other two bounty hunters for Chewbacca. Although Bossk was a bit suspicious, noting that the Boushh he knew would have killed all of them, he nevertheless listened to the offer. However, before the deal could be made, the other two bounty hunters reappeared to interrupt the potential exchange. Leia would again incapacitate them with blaster bolts to the knee and shoulder, but Lando had also risen to his feet during the firefight. Needing to continue the appearance that she was in fact Boushh, Leia knocked Lando down and Mox executed him, with Bossk watching everything unfold. When Bossk raised his blaster, only to find that it jammed due to the earlier assault by the rocks, he knew he had no other option but to deal with Boushh, given that the bounty hunter appeared to be less inclined for mere dealing. Although Bossk was exceptionally close to capturing Leia, Lando, and Chewbacca to take back to Jabba, he was forced to accept the earlier deal, and exchanged his two team members for Chewbacca. As the bounty hunter left Arkanis, Lando was finally able to get back up, noting that Leia had been almost too convincing as Boushh. With Lando rescued, they were able to continue their plan to save Han, and knowing she could now convincingly pull off her disguise, Leia would of course then travel with Chewbacca to Jabba's palace on Tatooine. And because Bossk could vouch for Boushh's capture of Chewbacca on Arkanis, their story and efforts were made even stronger. So there we have it, what Bossk was doing immediately before episode 6. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. Or perhaps follow us on Twitter at SW Reading Club for updates regarding the channel. Or support the channel through Patreon for access to exclusive rewards and discussions. If not for me... for wondering how he got away.